Good afternoon. I hope this semester has been going well for all of you. And as we're nearing the end, I hope you guys keep pushing. A successful year is nearing its end. I appreciate the time you're giving to watch my final video presentation. But now, let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever dreamed of winning big while playing blackjack? It might sound like a gamble or a game of chance, but for one man, it was more than that. It was strategy and his lifestyle. I'm talking about Don Johnson, the professional blackjack player who won lots of money using his blackjack skills. Johnson isn't just an ordinary player, he's an icon in the gaming industry. Known for his remarkable skill and tactics, he forever changed the way blackjack was played, making sure to set a new standard for the way the game was played and for the new winners in this game. Don Johnson had a pretty normal childhood. He was born on May 10th, 1962, in Salem, Oregon, into a middle class family. Like every kid, he had dreams and aspirations. Don's was that he wanted to become a horse jockey. He loved the idea of being in the races, and even was at some point. But as he got older, he grew too tall for the job. Jockeys are shorter people, and Don himself was not a small guy. But even though that did not work out, Don did not walk away from his passion in horse racing. He stayed in the industry, and his first real job was as a state regulator. He knew horse racing, and since he was doing that for so long, a huge opportunity arose. In 2000, he became a racetrack manager in Philadelphia. He was living out his dream in another way, being in charge of one of the biggest racetracks. And then, after some time, Don realized he wanted to do more solo work and help people who also enjoyed the same passion as him. That's when he created Heritage Development, a computer assisted program designed to help people place smarter bets on horse races. The company was pretty successful, and with his company getting traction, came up some good money. With this success, Don started hitting up casinos. He started playing blackjack. When he first started playing, he would hit casinos with good bonuses and would bet around $25 per hand. This is when Don found a new passion in life. He started figuring out how to use strategy to his advantage. At this point, Don began to develop his skills as one of the best blackjack players ever. Rise to fame, the man who broke Atlantic City. In the early 2000s, Don's blackjack career really started to take off. As I mentioned earlier, he began by playing with $25 hands at casinos that had bonuses. But it wasn't until 2008, when the recession hit, that his blackjack career would really start to take off. At this point, he saw an opportunity. Casinos and gambling operators were looking for people who were willing to be high rollers. They were hoping that these people would keep the tables busy and keep the money going round. Now, Don wasn't just any player, he was an experienced and smart player. But what really set him apart was the great skill of negotiation. This skill helped him get some pretty cool offers and terms with the casino, and it's something that we'll dive into a little bit later. With his ability and his play, he really started to get his name out there and started becoming more recognized. But 2010 was really that year for him. In a single night at the Tropicana Casino in Atlantic City, he won a staggering $5.8 million. It was legendary. This is when he started to be recognized as one of the greatest blackjack players ever. To add to his legendary status, Don had one of those stories that is really just so awesome. He won $800,000 in a single hand by splitting cards. Here's how it went. He was dealt two eights and split them. Then, on one of the hands, he was dealt two threes and a two. With a little bit of luck and a lot of game skill and a lot of knowledge, he was able to double down and win this huge sum of money. I mean, $800,000 from one hand. This is extremely crazy. This is life changing money, and he won this within just a few minutes. From 2010 to 2011, Don had won around $15.8 million from three major casinos: the Tropicana, Caesars, and Borgata. He was just so skillful and knowledgeable about the game that the Tropicana and Borgata had to change their rules to keep him from exploiting them. The Caesars Casino just decided to ban him from whatever he was playing again. So, with all these big wins and crazy success stories, how was it all possible? How did he win so much without counting cards? This is exactly what we are going to talk about next. As I said before, Don had some amazing negotiation skills. While many players try to gain an advantage by counting cards or trying to find other effective ways of cheating, Don took his own approach. His strategy was very smart, not a cheat code, and in many ways, more effective. He wasn't just skilled at blackjack, he also understood casinos and the stats of the game, which gave him some advantage. One of the key strategies that set Don apart was something called loss rebate. Now, this is a concept that might not be super known, but very important when trying to understand how Don played the game. So, what exactly is a loss rebate? Simply put, it's when a casino offers cash back or refund on a portion of a player's net losses over a specific period of time, often as a promotional incentive. The main idea is that the casino gives players money back on losses, which hopefully will make the player want to continue to play the game. This is where Don's knowledge of the game, blackjack, and how the casino works gave him a huge advantage. He discovered that the casino has a 0.263% house edge in a typical six deck game of blackjack when using his rebates and his strategy. But it's not just about knowing his odds. It was about negotiation with the casinos and finding some that offered rebates on losses. Now, what made this rebate work so well for Don was that this rebate was different than other rebates. First, there was no minimum amount of time or hands needed to play. This was a huge advantage because it allowed him to stop playing as soon as he lost a significant amount of money. On top of that, the rebate would reset every 12 hours, which meant Don was able to get his money back basically around the clock. However, Don only got the rebate if he lost at least $500,000. Now, I know that is a ton of money, but for Don, it seemed to work out in his favor. If he lost $500,000, the casino would give him a 20% rebate on that loss. So, for example, every $500,000 that he lost, he would get $100,000 back. This different type of rebate gave Don a certain advantage over the casino. He didn't have to play all day or play a certain amount of hands. He just had to reach that $500,000 threshold. And when he did this, the rebate was, at this point, free money he could use to play longer and win, or just take back home. Don's skill and understanding of how casinos work allowed for him to be known as one of the greatest winners ever. He found a way not only to level the playing field, but to get it a little more in his favor. But this loss rebate wasn't the only strategy. Next, we will dive into some of his other strategies and analysis that helped him in the long run in a more statistical and mathematical way. Not only did Don use loss rebates to his advantage, but he also used math to maximize his profits, and some people did extra calculations on him. People have analyzed his strategy and discovered that he had a quit point, a number where, once he reached it, he would leave the casino. After winning $2.4 million, he was expected to walk away. And if he lost $2.6 million, he'd also call it quits. Of course, the loss rebate helped, but he still needed to walk away at some point. When and if he played with $100,000 per hand, he was expected to walk away with around $150,000 every day he played. His ability to lower the house edge through these strategies is very impressive. In fact, his skill earned himself a spot in the Blackjack Hall of Fame in 2017, proving to everyone that he was an all-time great. Now that we've gone through all this information, let me wrap this presentation up for you. To wrap it up, Don Johnson's journey from a regular guy to a blackjack legend is a story of strategy and skill. Starting in a middle class family and a love for horse racing, he found his way into casinos, where he would use his negotiation skills and deep understanding of the game to rise to fame. His big win in Atlantic City in 2010 put him on the map, and from there he mastered the art of betting, knowing exactly when to walk away with millions. Don's unique strategies, like loss rebates and quit points, gave him the edge over casinos, and his success earned him a spot in the Blackjack Hall of Fame. In the end, he didn't just play the game, he changed it. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a great finish to your year as it's coming to an end. Good luck. Thank you. And to finish it all off, here are my resources, APA cited if you need them. Goodbye.